Hello everyone, I'm CZ Lumen and this is StarCraft 2. What I have for you right now is a game of Terran versus Protoss. DinoNuggi playing as the Zerg forces in the bottom right hand corner. Rufus playing as the Terran forces in the upper left hand corner. Both of these are diamond players according to the replay, and I'm not entirely sure who wins. I'm going to skip forward a little bit from the beginning of the match, see if any kind of scouting or anything going on. All we have is an overlord from the bottom right, heading over to the Terran base to try to scope out and see what's going on up here. Which, so far, nothing significant on the Terran side, just grabbing a gas. So far, building up a barracks. And, yeah. Oh, here we go. Bottom right hand, Zerg builds up a second base. It's a pretty quick hatchery, 120. Before the spawning pool. That's a pretty greedy hatchery, and probably happy that Rufus, the Terran player, isn't doing anything too cheeky. Second command center going up for the Terran player. Zerg going up and confirming. Let's see, what did he see? Did he notice anything? Doesn't look like it. All he saw was the barracks in the front and is holding off what he's seeing. Oh, we have an attack. Here we go. Reaper moved across the map right under my nose, harassing the second base. Third base for the Zerg is going up. Queen defending the non-existent worker so far. Zerg doing a good job saving that drone by pretending to be a creep or a spine crawler for a little bit, and idle drones just kind of chilling, just waiting to be bossed around. They're on paid leave. It's okay. Nothing to see here. No unions or anything like that. Zerg scoping out, seeing what the Reaper is doing. Reaper's just chilling in front of the base, regenerating and having a good time. But let's see, what do we got? Looks like a 1-1-1 by the Terran player as far as openings go. Pretty balanced on the workers. 23 for the Zerg, 25 for the Terran, without any significant economic differences between the two players. Slightly favoring the Zerg, but not by much. These are just small margins. Actually, there's only one. Terran is mining out a lot more gas than the Zerg player, getting ready to have more expensive forces by in contrast. The second base for the Terran is only just starting to build up, so we're going to see how that plays out for him. This Terran is now up against 3 bases instead of 2, and is going to need to get some work done with these Hellions and Reaper, but it looks like that's not going to happen. Zerg, a couple of Zergs and some Queens, or just one Queen rather, defending the third and second base with a natural without any issue. An Overlord, this Overlord's just like floating over, like, hey guys, how's it going? Don't mind if I watch you, do you? Yep, right, holding right above him too. Let's see. Terran comes down for another harass. Is he going to get any work done? Any drones? Oh, 2 Zerglings go down and nothing else. Queen defending. More Zerglings coming into the fray. And will the Reaper live? Will the Reaper live? Oh, it dies. Reaper is down. That's the end of that harassment. 2 Hellions running away from 4 Zerglings. Well, the Speedlings now. They have the upgrade. Oh, a bit of a counter play. One Hellion staying by, trying to help his friend. Oh, and his friend dies right at the base of the ramp to the front base. That's hard pill to swallow. That would have saved. I don't know how much these things cost. I think they're like, what are they, 75 minerals? So didn't lose too much. But now we have a Liberator on the field, heading down to see what kind of damage he can go take care of. Overlord is going to spot. Is he going to spot it? No. This Liberator is sneaky. Here we go. I'm going to follow it. We're following the Liberator. This is what the Liberator sees. Let's see. There we go. No, no. Where'd you go? I messed that up. Where's that Liberator? Where'd he go? Got the Overlord. Where did I... Overlord's gotta be... How did I miss it? Liberator's around here somewhere. There we go. Oh, that was fast. Set up camp on the bottom base. 2 queens are moving around the target area. Oh, are we going to lose a queen? Lost a queen to a Liberator. Although there's not a whole lot of choice. Oh, that was 2 queens. Liberators up to 5 kills. So 3 drones, 2 queens. Sitting pretty happy just denying mining time. Spore crawler coming up for the Zerg. And that Liberator's just chilling. Just enjoying life. Just denying that mining time. Which is pretty substantial. The Zerg is only having, what is that? About 300. Is that 300? Did it go back? No. 300 versus the Terran 400 per second or per minute. So this is not great. Slow reaction time costs that Liberator its life. Getting at least 1 more kill before its death. Those queens died in vain. They could have came around and really taken advantage of that Liberator's blind spot, but they didn't. We got 38 drones oversaturating the 3rd base. Okay, now they're coming back, and oversaturation. The 16, I think, is the recommended amount. That's basically when you start getting diminishing returns when you're mining out one of these mines. Because you can see right here that like split second of no mining time being done on one of the mines. The extra drones basically oversaturate it and make sure that there's no mining time wasted. So, and I don't remember what the exact number is. I think it is around 30 for a full field. Once the smaller crystals goes down, then that number halves or goes down dramatically. So probably about 16 for a half field. That's just a guess. You can look it up. Correct me in the comments below, and I'm probably going to Google it afterwards. Yeah, right here we have 33 drones out of 16, oversaturating this base here. This is a lot of money. Although Zerg is bringing in a lot. Wait, what's going on up here? No workers have gone down. Okay, so we have some mineral patches that have gone down by the Terran player, building up the 3rd command center. I just noticed that their minerals dropped down a little bit, their income production. So I just thought that was a little interesting. But here we go. Yeah, 7-minute mark, and looks like both players are on the economy side of just like building up an army. Units wise, let's see what we have. What's the button? Here we go. Army value. Whoa. Zerg has an army value of 1900 with no gas spent on their army. That means Zerglings and Queens. Where are your forces? Here we go. Up the front, knocking down the front walls on one of the on the 4th base here that's just come up. Not mining just yet, but that'll increase the Zerg's mobility around the map. Oh, we have a drop coming up. Terran 2 dropships or medivacs getting dropping down by the 4th base on the lower ground, giving it a second. Does this go downstairs? Here we go, and that is 1 queen. What else we gonna see? Nope. How many? 2 queens. 2 queens down and some Zerg. At the cost of a couple, what it looks like 3 or 4 Marines. So units lost. 36 Zerglings have gone down. 4 drones. 4 queens. Now the Zerg has lost more minerals. Hasn't lost any gas to the Terran player. Not really. Oh, we're gonna see some gas loss here in a bit. Banlings just morphed in. Do they get any kills? Do they get any kills? Oh, Jeffrey made it! Made it back to the dropship. No kills. Zerg is having a hard time. Well, actually, no, not having a hard time. I'm gonna take that back. They're doing a good job with the map control down here. 4 bases, five bases. No, not a whole lot of money in the bank. A Terran army basically walking up to the front door of the Zerg with, let's see, slightly weaker forces. We're about to watch this mass Zergling rush coming in, knocking down some Terran. Some of the siege tanks never had an opportunity to siege up, but that's what happens when you. I wonder what he was doing. Terran must have been okay. Well, he was able to like salvage some of his forces and retreat with the medevacs, but that was kind of costly. What did he lose there? Who came out on top of that? Wow, that was actually a net gain for the Terran. So do that again, I guess. That worked out really well. Zerg is in the lead in units lost or resources lost. So even though they have a much larger economy than the Terran's only running off of 3 bases right now. The Zerg army is amassed in the center, lower center of the map, moving out towards the Terran. We have 2 forces. Looks like one's going to try to harass and catch the Terran off guard. The main force coming in from the south. Not a lot of Terran here to defend this. Destroying basically a group of barracks that have just come up and retreating just a little bit of attack or counterattack. Zerglings in the main line, in a mineral line with the 4th base or the 3rd base of the Terran, and not doing a whole lot of damage. This is Zerg is having a hard time here. They did not get a whole lot done. I expected these barracks to die. Just go straight down. There's not a lot of Terran forces around here. Just a few stationed here in a bunker, in the 3rd base, and a few on the upper hill here. Where's everybody? I'm looking around. They're all in the main base. They were just chilling. Where is everyone? We have 70 workers for the Terran army and 31 Marines. That's it. Oh, we got some Widow Mines. We have a few Widow Mines here. But 31 Marines and 6 Medivacs versus a lot of Zerg. What do we got? As far as army value goes, population-wise, they're dead even. Terran just passing to the 80 mark against the Zerg 74. And when we look at the army value, Zerg has a more expensive army, but is that going to be worth it? Do Banelings count in this? Because Banelings, they do a lot of damage, but you lose them, so they are rolling into the south of the base here against the Terran player and doing some damage, killing off some of the Terran army. Army values diminishing more and more with that defender's bonus by the Terran player. I think Terran came out on top here. Yeah, they lost a few barracks and some Marines, but I'm gonna open up this units lost tab, and it's gonna be the SCV. Look at him. Look at SCV. Dude, what are you doing? This dude's got balls. Coming up a bunch of it. Can you imagine being a Hydralisk and just like moving away, and this SCV tries to like mine your tail? Okay, they were responding to a drop here that destroyed 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th base of the Zerg, and it's not even over. The Zerg has been expanding. They have complete control of the right side of the map. I'm not seeing where that medevac goes. I'm doing a terrible job like maintaining where some of these units go. Okay, let's look at units lost. I mean, numbers speak for themselves. Terran is doing a great job here with the trades. If I'm rounding, We have 6,000 loss with 1,100 loss by the Terran. Gas-wise, both of them have lost about the same amount, but compared to 6,000 lost by the Terran, we have 8,000 lost by the Zerg. So, not great trades going on for the Zerg. Every time they attack, every time they try to do damage, Terran seems to be holding on quite a bit better. Both sides mining about the same. There hasn't been too much of an economic advantage one side or another, except for Zerg right now has pulled the lead in the gas mining, but with 80 workers compared to Terran's 70, that's about neck and neck. Less than 10% worker difference there. What else we got? I'm like looking. So we now have tanks, marauders, and marines in this bio ball mix, SCVs. Zerg has fielded 3 Ultralisks, Hydralisks, and Zerglings. We're gonna see if these Ultralisks are worth their money. We do have a number of upgrades, although Terran seems to be better with their upgrades. They have 3 weapons versus the Zerg's 2 melee, 1 ranged. Armor-wise, they're about equal. So, lone drop troops caught off guard and recovered. Are they recovered? Oh, 1 goes down. Poor Jerry. Jerry the Marauder didn't make it to see his wife and children back at home. Okay, we got a pretty good army here. Ultralisks, Hydralisks, the Zerglings attacking from the east. Do we have a drop going on right now? Yeah, we have a drop. Zerg is current 2 drops. Is Terran even going to defend this? That's the question. Do they need to defend this? He just raises his buildings, be like, yeah, whatever, buddy. You're going to go away here in a second. Ultralisk goes down for free. Zerg denied a base expansion with another expansion dead in the bottom left-hand corner for I wouldn't say free. Both the medevac is hurting out of resources and running out. The Marines are running out of health. Not managed, so those Marines are left to die as the transport just watch them die. How demoralizing would that be to be down there on the ground and be like, hey, transport, can you pick us up? Nah. Just gonna watch you. Goodbye, buddy. I didn't like you anyway. We're gonna look at the resources lost again. Okay. Trades are doing, I want to say Zerg is slowly catching up. We now have a 20% lead by the Terran as far as resources lost goes. So as this game goes on, it seems like Zerg is being a little bit more efficient with their trades, but they have bases to burn. What do we got? 2 bases coming back up. We got good saturation. Economy-wise, Zerg is outperforming with gas, outperforming with minerals. Both have 80 workers, although a lot of the workers for the Terran player are currently base building. Yeah, and I feel bad for those Marines. Here we go. Attack from the south. Lots of Zerglings coming in, not doing a whole lot of damage. Softening things up for the Banelings, and all that goes down. I think a few tanks. Here, hold on. I want to go back. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to slow this down here. Okay, we're amassing a large Zergling Bangling army. And that's it for this attack. No Hydralisks over here. I don't know where the Hydralisks are. Where are they? Okay, they're in that northern ball. So there's going to be a pincer attack, basically. So we have, in the south, the Zerg is attacking from the south, hitting into the north, into a very saturated planetary fortress. The main objective is probably the planetary fortress and the SCVs, if possible, to make any kind of lasting economic damage. There's 17 workers here, which would give the Zerg an economic lead, but Terran has the bank to hold this. Now, Zerg isn't aware of the bank, so it's hard to really factor that in to the equation here. Both sides have up to about 200 supply, and both are nearly maxing out their army cap. So the time to attack is now for the Zerg to try to contain the Terran as much as possible on what is currently 1, 2, 3, 4 bases. 2 of them are mining, so this is a good move. Even if you're going to lose out, if you have base numbers, this gives you the opportunity to force your opponent to spend more money that they may not have in the future. With a complex army, we have Ultralisks, Hydralisks, and a few Banglings coming in from the upper right, or the east, however, into one base that really isn't very well defended, except for by Marauders. There's a group of Marauders here. But on the other side, we have 2 tanks properly deployed to soften up the incoming Zerglings from the south. Now we're going to watch this. We're going to do a little bit of play by play here. I'm going to pause, move a little bit forward. Zergling army size is dropping down pretty quickly, as these tanks, a tank up here on the hill would have been really helpful. But destroying these structures isn't going to do you a whole lot of good. We have a good wall off here, and these are replaceable. These just slow you down in terms of like how long it takes to replace it. These slow you down in both the economy being mined and having to replace them. Had the Zerg, oh, there's a Widowmine here. Is that 19 kills? That's one hell of a Widowmine. So had the Zerg actually tried to avoid these guys and moved up and attacked over in this direction, they would have only had to deal with the damage from 1 siege tank if they attacked the planetary fortress, and then eventually 2 as it started to engulf the planetary fortress. But with assuming that the SUVs run away and you only get a couple, we also have a sensor tower here that is giving valuable information for the Terran. Up here, we're going to watch this here. Wow, look at that. Look at that beast. How terrifying would it be to just be standing there and this colossal being with these massive razor arms getting ready to hug you? That is not something I want to experience. All right, we're going to move forward just a little bit more. And again, I have it slowed down just to see what's going on here. Slow reaction time. Marines are, what do we got? Marauders are holding their spot in the south. No tanks in any kind of position to soften any of this up. Up here, however, we have 2 siege tanks that have been destroyed. Marauders appear to be moving away, hiding those Banglings properly. Then up on the right, we have Marauders defending the north. Base goes down, which denies mining time, which is good. And let's see. But even in this situation right here, there's not a lot the Zerg can do because Marauders are going to slow down their opponents when they hit. It's almost better to just try to kill as many Marauders as you can with the Hydralisks, because the Hydralisks are not going to run away. Unless you're on creep. If you're on creep, you can probably like get away with that. But plus we have these Marauders over here. Plus they have stem, so they're going to catch up and they're going to basically kill the rest of them. Some Hydralisks trying to slither away here. We're going to watch this play out. Try to kill. See, you're losing them for free. Either dedicate them or try to run away. Target fire, kill as many as you can, then run away. That's the best you can do. That was a good outcome right here. And when we go into the units lost, where it's looking even worse for the Zerg, almost 60% greater loss in minerals. We got 16,000 lost by the Zerg, 11 lost by the Terran. And gas on is pretty much saying the same numbers, so 50% greater. 2,500 lost by the Terran, 3,300 lost by the Zerg. So Zerg is having a hard time here. As long as they can keep their economic advantage of mining, they're going to be fine. And both sides have a good amount in the bank, and that is exactly what the Terran is denying right now. They're going in, they're taking out the drones, and keeping the Zerg from really building up and harvesting those resources. Excuse me. So this is great. Some static defenses, any kind of defenses here is going to be needed. You're not going to all army hotkey defend everything here. But I'm not a diamond player, so this is a lot of territory to try to handle. Where are all of the workers? Yeah, we had another drop here in this base. Worker count wise, Zerg is now behind 45 versus Terran's 56. And we see it in the numbers too. Minerals and gas production for the Zerg. Oh, actually Zerg is ahead in the gas production, but behind in the minerals. So we're going to speed this up just slightly to watch this play out. Another Zerg bailing bust against a group of, or a bio army. And I think he forgot to pick up his troops. That was terrible. And you know, we have where'd he go? Oh, Jeffrey followed him. He's like, no, I'm going to try to kill as many as I can. my life as a soldier sucks enough as it is. The sooner I die, the better. The sooner my family gets my pension. Okay. Bases by the Terran player are getting mined out properly, so he's doing a great job here, denying further expansion by the Zerg player. What do we got? Fourth base is being retaken by the Zerg player on 47 workers. The main basis still hasn't been mined out. That's interesting. Now, strategically speaking, this is just like a little bit of theory crafting here. I'm going to pause it for just a second. The moment you build a base further away from your main, you want to move your drones outward and mine those, because if you mine those out first, you're always going to have at least something in your main base, assuming that you're going to be defending your main bases pretty well. And that basically gives you some sort of trickle economics in the background. And also building up to the 16 amount, right now it's 10, is basically when you start seeing the severe diminishing returns. Having fewer workers than recommended is a higher efficiency per drone. So four bases with drones spread out among them is going to bring in a higher income than all of those drones on one base. Like 32 versus 16. If you had 8, 8, 8, 8, you're going to be doing better. Well, that's, yeah. So, but that's just a little bit of theory crafting. It's hard to do that in practice. It's easier to armchair lawyer and say, well, you should have done this, than it is in practice. When you're in the game, you're really struggling to remember everything. So here we have command center goes down, but does a good job delaying. If that command center can land and then get any kind of help, it's not going to happen, because the Zerg player comes in, grabs one of the Valkyries. Valkyries? No, those aren't Valkyries. Liberators. And that is gone. Zerg loses a lot of assets in that fight. That was painful. But again, the goal is to stop the resources, and that was successful. That was a good move. That was a good play, because now this is it. This is the only mining Terran has at the moment. It's only on the third natural expansion. So now Terran has to build back up, and relying on the bank. The bank is going down 600 minerals in the bank compared to, okay, well, it looks like Zerg just purchase dumped. Zerg has a 64 army versus 83. We're going to see how well this plays out. Liberators setting up defensive positions to try to defend a mining base on the 4th natural expansion. We're going to find out how well that plays out. The only thing Terran can really do at this point is defend. What's interesting is, oh, okay, there were air units by the Zerg. I noticed missile turrets going up. I was like, well, we don't really see a lot of air units by the Zerg being played out here, but nope. They were being fielded. Hey, little sharky. Look at this little shark. We're going to take a moment and just appreciate these sharks just kind of swimming here. Look at it. I think he's sleeping. He's a little snoozer. This snoozer shark. All right. Thwarting another counterattack, or another drop by the Terran player. Zerg is coming in from the top right. See if they can get any work done. Knocking out several drones, which is definitely what you want as the Zerg player. And that was all you wanted. If you can get Terran to come out and play and attack them in some sort of flanking motion or anything, that would have been, laying down banelings or anything would have been helpful, but really hard to do. Again, all of the Terran forces, I think this is it. I think this is everything the Terran has. 115 army, probably in this area, setting up for a trap. Yeah! Oh, this is good. This is good. Look at that. Seen by the Zerg player yoinking those tanks towards them. Oh, that was amazing. That was a great setup. Just come in. Just piss him off, run away. Oh, that was beautiful. That was everything you want in life right there. That was a great setup. Love it. No other attacks are going on anywhere on the map, by the way. Like, none of this is defend. Okay, we have one tank. So a few Zerglings, if they were able to take out this tank, that would be it. These buildings would have to come up. We have two tanks defending all of this. So if he would have kept up, and there's another base. Terran now has a full base, soon to be fully saturated by 16 workers on a fresh source. That's gonna keep them in the game. This one base right here, supplemented by this. These two bases are what this Terran player needs to make sure that the Zerg does not pay attention to. And of course, the Zerg has expanded here. This is a mining base by the Zerg. We actually have two mining bases currently. This is going to be the game changer right here. Zerg is going to lose all of this for free. Not for free, but Zerg can't do anything about this. Go around is the best option. Giving up, you can't fight in those tanks. This is just a great game of tag. There's the only thing Zerg can do is try to defend and slow. Leapfrogging siege tanks here is brilliant. The moment they get locked up in here with good vision, it's going to be game over for the Zerg. They cannot defend this base. They have one mining base that the Terran are not aware of in the south here. But this is a great exchange for the Terran. Assuming that the Terran is building up after this. Okay, here we go. Terran forces get mostly wiped out. Question is this going to be a good exchange? Right now, Zerg need to press their advantage. But Zerg are not aware of this. And in fact, running away lures the Zerg towards the base. And this might be a good indicator for the Zerg to take as a clue that, okay, they are weak. We're going to attack it now. We're going to see what you have left. Because this is... Wait, where's that? There's that final Zerg tank. Where... all those... This is scrappy. We got 32 versus 36 army. Zerg has 32. Going in and just nickel and diming. This is going to be it. This looks like what's going to decide whether or not this game continues. And it looks like I want to say a victory for the Zerg. This is good. Reinforcements are coming in. Terran Terran has 200 power in this orbital command that's not being used. I mean, he needs to mine that stuff up. Every cent right now they needs to be used for the Terran player. But again, when you're out in the field, when you're fighting, that's hard to remember. And now we have a bunch of workers that are just standing around. This is fully mined out. Oh, he's building. He's building SCVs here. That's going to cost him. Mining wise, Terran is behind the Zerg here. Zerg is no longer mining any gas. 56 workers on the Zerg side against 38 workers on the Terran. We're about to see a massive move for a... Is this base untouched? Okay, this base has been mined out a little bit, but it's still pretty fresh. And that's against 3 mining bases by the Zerg. 4. Well, a 4th one is coming up. So those resources are going to keep the Zerg in play. Zerg unaware of the base in the bottom left-hand corner. This is amazing. Terran needs to keep this a secret as much as possible. This is smart. Taking out that command center that has full energy. That means no mules are going to touch ground. These hydralisks are going to get picked up for almost free now. Again, running away, you might as well just stay and try to knock out as many as you can because you're going to lose them. Resource loss wise, Zerg is still in lead with a combined total of 41,000 versus Terran's loss of 36,000. So, but let's see what we got in the bank. When we look at the bank, Zerg is more than doubling the resource or the mineral income than the Terran player. Both sides trying to rebuild as much as possible. Zerg with 68 army versus Terran's 51 army supply. Upgrades are being done on both sides by ground forces. There hasn't been a whole lot of air power to be shown here, aside from medivacs by the Terran player. All right, looks like Rufus heard what I was saying, and mules are now mining the hell out of this upper patch here. Zerg is working away on 3 fully saturated bases. 23 here. Yeah, the sooner most of these go here, split into that, the better. Like, that needs to happen. Oh! A fight going on the bottom left hand. This looks pretty bad for the Terran. They're up against Ultralisks, trying to knock out as many Banelings and Zerglings as they can, but that failed. Terran is now down to 2019 army supply, and that's it. GG is called by the Terran player. That was rough. Now, that was tough. And arguably, I want to say he was still in the game. Well, with 17 army supply, what do you have? A Marauder, 3 Marines, and a Widow Mine. Nope. No, that was smart. GG. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Ultralisks. Yeah, all 6 Ultralisks are right here. There's really nothing he can do to stop this. Let's look back. Marauders, he would need to be training non-stop Marauders as much as possible, and he's not. He's hurting for resources. He's probably stressed out at this point too. This was a hard victory by the Zerg player. Both of these players fought amazingly well in this. Zerg played their hand pretty well by expanding. And this is interesting. This is very curious. Looking at the final units lost, Terran was catching up. 32,000 minerals lost, rounding up to 33. Versus, if you're just listening, 34,000 minerals lost by the Zerg player. Which really means Zerg at the end there was balancing out those fights and getting its money back, basically. Not only that, but had purchased a lot more. Let's see. One of these buttons here, or one of these gives me the units spent, or the amount spent on the army. Here we go. We got army value. We're spending. Here we go. Total spent. Just look at additional information. Total spent 15,000 on the Zerg side for the economy, 3,600 in tech, 49,000 in army. It's interesting to see that the army spent on the Terran side was only 30,000. I mean, just think about that. 50,000 was spent on the army on the Zerg versus the Terrans 31,000. That's minerals and gas. Tech-wise, the Terran invested more into technology that would help them. So that was money well spent. I mean, that's savings right there. And pretty close, neck and neck in terms of how much they both spent on the economy. So this was really good game by both players. This was fun to watch. Good game.